been a while now since an article appeared in a magazine called The Atlantic, written by Emily Oster. And she said, well, let's declare a pandemic amnesty. We need to just forgive and forget all the stuff that happened from roughly late 2019, clear up to whatever, 2022. Some of it's still happening. Now, we are called to forgive. I'm not going to. Sorry if that's wrong, but I'm not sorry. I really am not. Because they're going to do it again. Oster's contention is that we just didn't know. We didn't know, and especially in the early days, we didn't know what was happening or what was going on. That part's true. For about a week, maybe two. But it didn't take long for even a fool like me to do enough of my own research to think, something's not right here, something's up. Now I'm cutting to the chase here and jumping a little bit out of my own order that I've established for myself. But do you remember the arrows on the floors of supermarkets and stores? Did they do that in your location? Because they did in mine. And I want the name of the individual or groups responsible for that. I have never seen anything done. That sealed the deal for me. Once I saw the arrows on the floor, and you can only walk this way down the aisle that you're on, and the other aisle has to come back that way. And it was just chaos because it made no sense and it was stupid, and people just ignored the arrows on the floor, and so they went away, which shows us that they weren't necessary to begin with anyway. Let alone the fact that disease can go whatever which way it wants. It doesn't care about signs or arrows. It's important to remember because they're going to do it again. So let's just forgive and forget. I mean, it was a bad and confusing time for everybody. That's the gist of her article. We didn't know. It was a bad time. It was confusing. But I knew. And the other people that did know, people way smarter than I ever pretended to be, were silenced. A lot of the remedies that were previously available that would have, at a minimum, reduced symptoms and helped people were suddenly unavailable. Things like ivermectin, just gone. Can't get it. And the medical profession participated in this too. And so you don't want to do that, you know. Oh, you're one of the bleach drinkers? You're one of those people? I mean, you got to follow the science. But the readily available science was pulled away and taken away and discredited and banned outright. You want me to forgive that? I'm not going to, because they're going to do it again. Many of the stores, the bigger stores, decided to close at 11 p.m. because apparently a virus has a bedtime and a waking time. And apparently that virus got up about 10:59 and just goes crazy. So after 11 o'clock p.m., you don't want to be out. We're just trying to keep you safe, you understand? You want me to forgive that? I'm not going to, because they're going to do it again. They locked our elderly behind plastic, shutting them out from interactions with their family so they could die alone, which everybody makes that final passage alone. Don't get me wrong. But on your deathbed, you don't think you'd want some kind of loved ones around? Got to keep you safe, you know. You want me to forgive that? Well, I'm not going to. They're going to do it again. Millions of people lost their jobs. Millions more lost careers, their entire life's work, their studies, because prohibitions were put on them and placed on them, and demands were made of them that they could neither accept nor complete. That caused poverty, it caused homelessness, it caused self-deletion. In certain cases, you want me to forgive that? They're going to do it again. The kids were forced home, but still mandated to participate in public education via Zoom or whatever computer program they had. What did that do to the kids? We don't even know the long-term ramifications of isolating children like that. Many cases, children and adults, cause depression, anxiety, and self-deletion. You want me to just forget about that? Well, guess what? I'm not going to. Because they're going to do it again. They forced some safe and effective medicine, we'll say, onto people. Forced it on them. Or you can lose your job and become homeless or destitute or maybe self-deletion eventually. Things get bad enough for you. And you want me to just act like that never even happened? I mean, we didn't know. You can forget it. Because they'll do it again. Approximately $6 trillion was printed in during this time. Most of it went to the big corporations and big business, and I can't get too detailed because I'll get slapped on the wrist again. Most of it was stolen, in essence. Lower income folks did get, I don't know what it was, $1,200, something like that. That was under Donald Trump, mind you. He held up the first checks because he wanted to put his signature on the checks instead of the Secretary of the Treasury. Point being, $6 trillion. What did that do for inflation? See, we're still living that out. And people think that Donald Trump is going to come into office and just be the savior and fix everything. Operation Warp Speed, that was done under Trump. Don't me just pretend that that never even happened. Inflation, that's just, forget about that. Even though we're still living it out and we're just getting started, baby. Have you been to the grocery store lately? Go get you something, a little something. Just 14 days, 15 maybe, 2 weeks. Stop the spread. And step by step, now it's coming out that almost none of these things were correct or true. But you need to trust the science. But now the science that had a counter argument to the mainstream narrative was silenced. Is that acceptable behavior in a free country? You want me to just forget about that? The trouble with that is they're going to do it again and soon.